You know, one of my favorite things in this entire show is Twilight's derp eyes that she does in this episode. Look at that. How can you not crack up at looking at that? Hello, I'm Cryptfang the Vampire Pony, and today we're going to talk about why Lesson Zero is my favorite episode of My Little Pony. But Crypt, Lesson Zero came out like forever ago. Why are you only reviewing it now and yet not an episode from Season 4 or something? Because shut up. Okay, fine, I might as well give you a real reason. As I stated in my Some Splainin' To Do video, I haven't really had the opportunity to watch much of Season 4 yet. I've literally still only seen Princess Twilight Sparkle Parts 1 and 2, as well as Castlemania. I haven't seen any of the episodes past that, and I've been meaning to, but, you know, I've just been busy, and since I don't have regular access to the internet or the hub, I haven't been able to watch it. That, and I figured, since I was doing a new style that has less to do with me talking about the technicals in an episode, and more about how an episode spoke to me on a more personal level, I figured it would be best to start with an episode I not only find to be of high production quality, but also an episode I connect with and relate to on a very high level. Alright, now with all that nonsense out of the way, let's dive right in. I always look at this episode as more of a character study than anything else. The story is more or less just an excuse to delve into Twilight Sparkle's character. Now, I'm probably only speaking for myself, but I almost always enjoy these types of episodes and shows. I'm a big character person, so looking deeper into the ones I enjoy is always a treat to me. And a good character, or good characters, often bring out the best in the show. Take The Walking Dead, for example. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched it, I hated it. To me, it just sort of came off as shouting and sometimes zombies. So as you'd imagine, I got bored of it really quickly. However, though, I kept hearing about people talking about how great the characters were, which piqued my interest in trying again. This time focusing less on the fact that it was a zombie apocalypse, and this time focusing more on the fact that these characters were experiencing a zombie apocalypse. And I can tell you that I infinitely had a much better time than I did the first viewing. Another really good example of this is the Batman the Animated Series episode, Almost Got Him. I won't bore you with the details about it, but let me just say, it's one heck of a great episode. What's the idea? It's literally just the Joker, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Two-Faced, and Killer Croc all just sitting at a table playing poker and telling about the times they've come closest to killing Batman. That idea alone is just amazing, but the fact that these characters get to bounce their personalities off of each other is just exquisitely done, and they're all really well written in this case. These are all very big personalities, so seeing how they play off of each other and focusing on that so much makes for a really good and really entertaining episode. I won't say it's my favorite episode, but it's definitely one of them. However, though, in the case of Lesson Zero, we're focusing on a single character as opposed to several characters, so we could get more time to delve into her situation and her reactions to said situation. In this case, Twilight responds to her situation with nearly crippling paranoia and anxiety. I actually think this is telling about Twilight's overall character. We've seen her get kind of uptight and kind of annoyed and things like that before, but I don't think we've ever seen her show this kind of crippling level of anxiety and fear before. She literally starts to go insane. And honestly, I can't say I haven't been in that situation before. I have gotten nearly this anxious over things that are seemingly really small to other people, but to me seem really large. Never about schoolwork, well, almost never about schoolwork, because school was never really all that much important to me at any point in my life. But if you could ask my friends the horror stories, oh boy, they could give you tons of them. I won't bore you with all of them, or even one of them, because they're kind of embarrassing, but the point is that looking at this episode, I could say that I've been in a similar situation. I can draw back on my own experiences and look at this and say, hey, I've been like Twilight before. I've nearly gone Gollum, and I'm not even joking about that. When I do get anxious, I do tend to talk to myself in this kind of manner. And I do tend to also start twitching. I also tend to do really kind of like crazy wide-eyed faces, and I breathe heavily, and I talk in a kind of wavy manner, and I shake and I curl up in a ball. I do all of these things when I get really anxious, so it's much easier for someone like me to relate to this episode. I suppose what I'm trying to say is that I really do relate with this episode, not just because it's showing Twilight getting anxious, but it's the manner of which she is dealing with her anxiety. These are all very familiar things to me. Even the smallest little details like facial twitches or things like that are all very familiar looking to me because I do the exact same thing. So yes, I suppose my reasons for thinking that this is the best episode are entirely selfish, but then again, these videos are about personal analysis as opposed to analysis of the actual content of an episode. So really, what were you expecting? When it comes to fiction, my favorite kinds of stories and characters are the ones that embody the idea that they're in a crazy fictional world and I can still draw comparisons to my experience in real life so I can relate better. In the rare occasion when I get really angry, I shout a lot like Dr. Eggman. When I get really excited or into something, I tend to trail on about it like the 11th Doctor. And when I get really anxious, I break down like Twilight. Alright, well, I think that's about it. This has been CryptFang. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace out.